Hey, so here's a quick updated video of the call simulator, since I made some modifications to it over the last few months and I haven't really posted a real demonstration of what it can do now, so check this out. The call simulator itself runs as a system service now, which is nice because I don't have to keep an application, physically running in a screen or anything. Um, so we just have the service running all the time. The nice thing about the service is I can just connect to it using a separate console app, and the console app connects to the service and gives you a table at the top here, which is currently empty because there are no calls running, and it gives you some logs down here. Also, there's a status bar showing the number of lines. The server status is running. That means it's actually responding to API calls. And the museum status is offline because I'm not there right now and the battery's actually off. So, if we start some calls on the panel, we get some logs showing that the app has requested to start on the panel. It's appending 4 lines, and we get 4 lines. And then we have just a line identification, what switch it's on, which channel it's placing the call on, as far as asterisk is concerned, the terminating line, countdown timer until the next action. State is the state of the line as far as my program is concerned, whether it's on or off hook. And asterisk is the state of the line as far as asterisk is concerned. So we have that. We can also add in some number 5 crossbar lines for fun. So it appends another 8 lines. And they start doing their thing. Of course, if I want to stop the 5 crossbar, I can stop it, and now we're just on the panel. So this web page here I kind of designed to be very compact so it would look nice on a smartphone. For instance, volunteers who have an iPhone or an Android or whatever, you can kind of use this web page as a control panel in your pocket to start and stop the call simulator if you're far away from the keys which we normally use. And all of this is driven through an API, which is, thanks Swagger, there's a nice little playground here, so we could just do a get on /app, and it shows us the app is running. It's not currently paused. There's 4 lines. The panel switch is running. The number 5 crossbar is not running, and the UI is not running. Now, the reason that's reporting as false is I'm connected by the console, which is different than the built-in UI. So that will only report true if the built-in UI is running, and it's technically not running right now. So then we can also start and stop some switches. So if we want to stop the panel, just go and do it, and the panel stops, and it logs that it stopped. The source thing here is whether you stopped it from using the key on the desk or on the frame, or you're using the web app. So if I stop it with source web, it'll say app requested stop on panel because the app requested stop. And then it actually returns a 303 redirect, which redirects you right back to the same page. And if I use key to stop it, changes the source to key, it returns that as the response body with a 200, and the logs specify that someone operated the key to stop the panel. So we have this cool little API here. We can also see if the museum is up or down. It's going to report false again because the museum is not online right now. But that's where we get this museum status indicator. So it's kind of turned into a pretty nice little app. And I could disconnect from the console if I want to. But the service remains running. The console is just a completely separate thing. Here we have a Node MCU microcontroller with an attached relay board. Both are powered from the local 48-volt battery with a power supply in there that's converting 48-volt into 5-volt that the Node MCU likes. And there's also power to drive the relay and power going out to drive a lamp, which is up here. So, if I operate the start key, this lamp will turn on, indicating that the software is running. And here we go. Over here in the aisle, we can see the originating registers, or ORs. There's 7 of them right now, so it's difficult to tell which specific one will be chosen to point the camera at. Here you can see one of the ORs doing its thing. There, it's done. And on this side of the aisle, we have the out senders. So these are MF outgoing senders, used when we're making a call to an office that wants MF input. These here are dial pulse out senders when we're making a call to a step office. And up here, these are revertive pulse out senders for making calls to panel offices. Now these out senders are only used when we're making inter-office calls. So one will come around eventually, but I just don't know when because it's random. There we go. There's a call to the panel. I'm waiting for a call to the step, which we should get eventually. There we go. That was a call to the step-by-step office. And maybe we'll also get an MF call. There's another panel call happening up there. Another panel call. Switch to vertical mode for a second. So, each type of central office has a different protocol. It speaks a different language, which is why you need more than one type of outgoing sender. Another call to the step-by-step. That was dial pulsing out to the step. I'm still waiting for an MF call. I expect one to come in pretty soon. There's another call to the panel. There we go. That was just an MF call. It happened so quick. Okay, back to horizontal mode. This is the diamond ring translator. This is a really cool thing that I want to talk about, but maybe now isn't the best time because it's a whole nother subject. Okay, into the marker aisle. We have 3 markers in this aisle. One of them is the dial tone marker. This marker's only job is to provide dial tone when a line goes off hook. So every time you hear this marker go, not that one, it's a line going off hook. There we go. And again, and again. Okay, besides the dial tone marker, which is to my right, we also have completing marker number 1 and completing marker number 0. Now completing marker 0 is here right behind me. It takes up 1, 2, 3 bays of equipment, plus there's also a connector bay over there. Completing marker 0 is of the newer wire spring type. And every time you hear this go, like that, that's a call being completed. Again. Dial tone, completion. Dial tone, completion, completion. Now, these calls are all happening simultaneously, so you're not hearing the full progression from dial tone to completion. You're hearing a bunch of things overlap. Now, the other completing marker is this set of bays here. 1, 2, and 3. Each completing marker handles a certain percentage of the jobs. They're load balanced. So what you're going to hear is this one going, and then that one over there going. They're both completing the same task. The system is just load balancing between them. So here we are with this. This is marker number 1. So the newer style wire spring marker sounds sharper, and the older style sounds clunkier. So that's new. You just heard. New marker, old marker. New marker, old marker. So we have the newer type wire spring marker on the left, the older type flat spring marker on the right. And with any luck, you'll hear them load balance between themselves. It's a bunch of dial tones. Dial tone. So by listening to the sound of the machine, you can, after you get used to all the different sounds that things make, you can know what's going on without necessarily looking at it. Especially once you know the sound of the dial tone marker, the older flat spring type completing marker, the newer wire spring type completing marker. Again, they all have different sounds, so you can tell what's going on. You can also look at the light panel, which is this right here. These are originating registers here. Every time a line picks up and starts to dial, it needs one of those originating registers. So we have 5 lines dialing right now. 4, 2, 1. This one, and then someone else just picked up. Every time this red light flashes, a call originates. Normally, this equipment would be in multiple, so you'd have all these flashing at once, but we only have one line link frame, so you're only ever going to see this one flash. This is the originating register marker connector. Every time dialing completes and the originating register asks for a marker, this light will flash. Again, this would normally be in multiple. You'd have a bunch of them. We only have one, so you'll only ever see marker connector 0 flash. Dialing complete. Dialing complete. Again. Now, in conjunction with that, here are the marker indicators indicating which markers are being used. Here's the dial tone marker. You can have up to 4. We only have 1. Here's completing marker 0 and completing marker 1. Here's the sharp clicky one and the low thunky one. Newer, older. Completing marker 1, dial tone, completing marker 0. I've also put a similar key in the panel office that does the same thing. To operate this, light turns on, call simulator running. So we should see line finder, district, an office, Incoming the final. And this runs very similar to how the number 5 crossbar one runs. It'll just place a bunch of calls in no particular order. Anyway, I'm totally thrilled with how cool this is, so hey,